losing. Ooh, it's not. Oh, well, it's okay. We got the other one. My phone. It's all right,
You know what time it is.
Boom shakalaka! All right.
Hey.
All right. We got a studio audience, and they are so happy that it's boom shakalaka. Let's do it again because they didn't say nothing, Chaveevah.
No, they sure didn't.
You know what time it is.
Boom shakalaka! Okay.
All right. There, we're back now. Thank
Yes.
you so much. It's on again, Ed. Thank you. Yes, yes, it's one of those days, Chaveevah, where
Yes.
some things try to go wrong, but we're not going to let them.
Oh, that's right. No, we ain't about that at all.
Because there's always something good happening on the north end and everywhere else
in the Cedar Valley. That's for sure. And we have to remind ourselves of that sometimes right in the midst of all the different things that are going on. Just this whole COVID thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and we know that trouble don't last always. So we got to hold on and we got to put on our, move it forward face and
That's
keep
right.
it moving.
Game face for sure.
Right, and if
Yeah.
you're here, we know you're not virtually square because we asked you to be here and we see you showing up.
All right, and we
Thank
appreciate you. Yes, we do.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Chaveevah, we had a great time last week, and, we had a great show.
Yes, we did.
Who was on our show last week?
We had Mayor Hart
Oh, that's
and
right.
Police Chief Joel Fitzgerald. It was
Yes.
great having both of them to come on and talk. It's always a pleasure to have Mayor Hart. Are you listening?
Yes, yes, he's a
Yeah.
great mayor, and the police chief. And there's a picture. Yeah, we had a great show. Asked some great questions and got some great answers.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and then through the that weekend, I actually went out and celebrated Lori Dale's birthday at Montage, and you weren't able to come.
Yes. Yeah, I thought it best that I excused myself from that celebration because, again, talking about COVID, I thought that I had possibly been exposed, and so I had went to go get the COVID test, and I hadn't gotten my results back yet, so I didn't feel comfortable to join you all to do anything until after I knew for sure what was that. Anybody out there, y'all had that COVID test?
Right. It's not good. It's not good. You told me they went all the way up
The
into your
world's
brain.
longest Q-tip. It feels like they're tickling your thoughts.
Yeah, well, at least they were able to pull it out of your nose. If they went through your ear, it might have went through the other side. Right?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Anyway, long story short, we do want to tell you to stay safe. And if you feel like you've been exposed, quarantine, follow all the rules, because this is a serious thing that's going on right now. And we
Right.
don't need to take it lightly.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're going to have a great show today, Chaveevah. We've got some great guests.
Yes,
We're
indeed.
going to talk to Theron Montgomery,
Yes,
kind of
also known as Coach T.
yes,
Yeah.
of the
Ball Dogs.
Ball Dogs, right. And that's the team, the young man that was
Cortez Harrison.
Cortez
Yes, we
Harrison.
absolutely need to talk about him and shed some light on that if possible. And, that was a bright light in our community that was put out too soon. And
Exactly. And we're hoping, and we know that Coach T worked directly with the young man. We want to hear a little bit more about what kind of kid he was and kind of, learn about his personality and how he will be missed.
and how important it is for people like Coach T to mentor, someone out there mentoring our young people and giving them something to do.
That's right. We want to acknowledge a good friend, a brother, basically my stepbrother, Don Griggs has passed away. He lived in Rialto, California. He was here to help me with a lot of my godmother's concerns. Just a wonderful man. Yeah, there's his picture. We want to just acknowledge that we mourn with his family. He's just such a pillar of strength for me in navigating some of the things that we had to deal for my godmother, his stepmother. And we want to tell Celeste and all of the family that is mourning his loss that we indeed mourn with you. Don was just a stellar person, He won all kinds of awards in California, and you know he had a clothing line, and he was on our show.
Beautiful Afrocentric ties and pocket squares for men, and just an all-around great person.
Yes, and he actually supplied the ties for John Cochran. He was really got notoriety for being
For Johnny Cochran.
For Johnny Cochran during the OJ trials. So just know that our hearts are with you, Celeste, and please just know that we really do care. We will be missing Don very, very much. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and talk about introducing Mr. Theron Montgomery.
Yes, but before that, a quick news flash. We want you birthday people to hang around because you're going to hear your birthday shout out and song towards the end of the show. But yes, right now let's introduce our first guest, Coach T, Theron Montgomery.
Yes, come on over. Yep, just walk right on through. Any way you can get here. Thank you. Hi. And does he need the mic? You have a microphone there? Right, you can just clip it right there on your collar. And welcome. I don't think I know I've seen you a lot around, but welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. We know that you have other things going on your calendar. In fact, you have to leave here and go to another, you're going to the Engage.
Yes, at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
Teen Center. Yeah.
Talk about that for a second. What is going on? I know Joy Salas is a big part of that. And
And so it's a program that they orchestrated. It started, I believe, a couple weeks ago, and they met with the community for a couple Fridays, and they wanted to just collect all the information from the community about concerns and issues, and they took those concerns and issues and they selected a handful of adults to facilitate dialogue and discussions about each topic, and I'm going to cover youth development.
all right. Youth development.
Again, in a situation where you're advocating for our youth, so I just want to personally thank you, and we as a community thank you for the things that you do in support of our young people.
My pleasure.
Yes, and the thing about it is that we as the older people really recognize you young people that are out there, you know, making a path for even younger people than you to forge forward in this time. But unfortunately today we're talking about some violence that happened. We really want to talk to you about the young man because so many times we forget that this was an actual individual. It wasn't just another teenager that has gone, you know, due to violence. So tell us a little bit about Cortez.
Okay, so first I just want to clarify something. A good friend of mine, Curtis Coach Maine Wright, is the head coach of the ball and founder of the Ball Dogs. I am the co-founder and current assistant director of the Impact Foundation. And the majority of the work and activity connection with Cortez was through Impact of Minds. And then we had a league that ran at East High called the Lou League, and he participated in that. And then most recently, he played on the same team as my 15-year-old son through the Salvation Army. And they actually had just competed in Dubuque a few weeks ago prior to his tragic death. And the mayor and a ton of community and people got to see him perform and play and compete. Of course, not knowing that that would be the last time we would see him on a court. Cortez is what I would characterize as somewhat of the prototype of the typical young black male in our community and all over the cities currently. He was a young man that was full of a lot of anger and frustration, and so he wore somewhat of a harder, tougher exterior. But if you got to know him, like Sister Tutu was speaking at his memorial, you would know that he's just the sweetest young man. And although he can, you know, puff his chest out, which is a defense mechanism, a self-preservation that our young boys learn at a very young age, and it's a lot of misguided and directed anger. But again, when you get to know him, he's very respectful, and he's a very humble and very caring young man. And so a lot of people's interactions with him, or not a lot, but some, you know, it rubbed the wrong way, because he's very headstrong and very determined. And when you are raised in an environment that has you constantly under siege, it's not hard to understand why you can be abrasive and always on the defense.
Right.
And so someone that works with youth and deals with youth who are in this constant state of crisis, I understand the approach has to be a little different. You have to be a little more tolerant of some things that they might say or do unintentionally. But again, when you get to know them, and so watching Cortez develop throughout, you know, his athletic career, I've watched, and I know there are many who can witness, especially at this last tournament, just the evolution and change. I was there when some anger got him kicked out of the Lou League, and he got into it with a director there, and they exchanged a very heated exchange. And I watched how he would be very quick to respond to any type of correction or criticism, or another player trying to challenge him, and not always in the right way. And so at this last tournament in Dubuque, I watched him deal with some tough situations on the court, and he was handling them well. And you could literally see, like a thought bubble over his head, the inner conflict trying to maintain, because he wanted to do better. And so I pointed it out to a few people sitting next to me watching. And then after one of the games, I pulled him to the side and had a conversation with him, because I wanted him to know, we see you. We see you trying to do better. Yeah, and I said, man, I'm loving what you're doing. I see, you know, a couple of the kids taunting you, clapping in your face, and you just smiling and continuing to be, because he was 110 on the in anything he did. I mean, extremely just,
you could see,
I mean, his energy was just so contagious, and he got after it. And, you know, I could see him doing that, and he just responded with more energy, more pressure, instead of the negative talk, you know. And so I just wanted him to know that we see you. And if nobody else tells you, I want you to know I see you trying to be better and trying to be different. And so that was just a positive thing to witness. And I was blessed to get to see that. And again, not knowing that that would be the last time that we would see him be able to compete like that.
Yes.
No, we really, we hate that, you know, seeing that kind of progression cut short, because as you say, there are a lot of young men in our community who may still have that kind of reaction or whatever, but it's part of the growth process, and we appreciate the role that you all play in helping them to redirect that energy into something positive, you know.
Yes, and I think, you know, like you said, sometimes there is an atypical black young man that is in the same boat, and for black men to be there to mentor and support and advocate for them is so important, because a lot of times white people will think, well, what's the difference? I can be a coach, I can do this. But there are certain circumstances that only black people understand, and culture and his attitude and stuff like that need to be nurtured by a black man. So thank you once again for being there. You, Corey, Mohammed, Coach Corey, and Coach Maine, Astor Williams, and I mean, we just love
Mike Madlock,
Anderson,
all the any number of
DeCarlos.
young men who are stepping up there and being in that gap for them.
Yes, we just love your squad, and we love your generation. We're so grateful that the young people have you. So talk about counseling. How is the team? Are they, how are they handling this? How are you helping them to cope?
Well, several of us have reached out to the parents and the players and made ourselves available. Unfortunately, I think with this generation of youth, they don't quite know how to process or express themselves in these type of situations. Even my own son, at home who was on that team in Dubuque playing with Cortez. It's just like a numbing feeling. And I think a lot of that has to be attributed to the numerous saturation of violence and aggression that they take in every day through social media and television programs and the music and what's going on right in the backyards of their communities and what they see on the news. And unfortunately, it tends to kind of numb you and desensitize you to these things, which again is a self-preservation mechanism. If you just hurt or had empathy for every single situation, who knows mentally what that would do to you. So our children, our babies learn at a young age to try to just shut themselves off to it. So we've just tried to reach out to them and talk to them and make ourselves available, shoot them texts every now and then. The next step would be to try to seek some professional counseling services, which is difficult with the COVID and them not being in school. But that's the next step, to reach out to some administrators in the Waterloo School District and see if we can set up something virtually to give them an outlet. And then obviously through the churches and different spiritual groups, that's another opportunity to give them an outlet.
Yes. I appreciate, though, again, that, like you said, that tendency being there for the young people to shut themselves off. They do still at least have the they have the image, they have the model of you and people in your peer group who are helping to show them that it doesn't have to be all one way. It doesn't have to be, I absolutely have to desensitize myself. It's okay for some of these feelings to come out, and it's a rough type of situation to be in, and the loss is felt throughout the community, and we just appreciate you and the other young men that we mentioned, and so many more who we didn't, who just kind of help provide a level of guidance. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. Is there anything that the community at large can do in support of this young man's family or the team or anything?
I think contacting Sanders to, if there's anything that wants to be donated or any services that or volunteering or help that wants to be provided to lighten the load of the family, I would contact Sanders for that. In terms of just being of help to combat the bigger issue, which is the violence itself and the gangs and the different things that are so attractive and alluring for our young people that pull them in, I think it has to begin with each parent taking a hard look at what their child is doing. Yes. And unfortunately, a lot of our young men don't have that type of parent at home. So that's when we have to be bold enough to go outside of our homes and check on the neighbors' children and the children in the neighborhood and the children that our young people interact with. Yes. Right. And be the parent that is missing. And I know that's asking a lot because it's almost like when you do take the time to check on someone else's child, sometimes you receive some backlash or conflict from the parent that otherwise would not be around. But we just have to, it has to be done. We have to police our own communities. We have to take an interest in the young people in our communities. Otherwise, these types of incidents are going to continue to occur.
Yes. Right. Yes. Well, we certainly appreciate all of the good words that you shared. These are some things that needed to be said. And we're, like we said before, we're very grateful that you're here and that you're doing what you do. And you're making us all look good.
Thank you. My pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. And we wanted to come to the Embark, but I don't think we're going to have time this evening. So I know you guys got a handle on it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you
for joining us.
And I think your mask fell on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right over here. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. We're going to
take just a moment to, as we get ready to introduce our next guest.
Yes. Yes, because now we're kind of swapping out things. What a great conversation.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Right, with Coach T,
Mm-hmm.
Theron Montgomery.
Yes, of impact.
Of impact, right.
Impact.
So he did clarify that.
Yes, and all these organizations that he mentioned, Impact, Ball Dogs, Lou League, all these sorts of things that help give our young men something to do, a focus and mentoring at the same time. I want to
Right.
also shout out my son-in-law, Marcus Winter,
Yes.
who also is quite involved with working with young people with sports. You know, and it's always good when it's a medium that's close and near and dear to your heart anyway.
Oh, yes. He's a great basketball player, and I knew Basil, Bloopy, and all of them before,
Oh, really?
before him. So
Okay,
it's
before there was a
probably in
Marcus.
his blood.
Okay.
Right, right.
All right.
Okay, and because we're being so safe and careful, Ed is going to come and kind of sanitize everything. We don't want to, spread any germs around. It's COVID-19, y'all. What could we say?
Thanks.
Thank you, Ed. All right, and now before we go any further, to have a little bit of segue, we're going to change the mood and talk to Dusky Steele, who
Yes.
has some great information for us and celebrate birthdays and stuff.
That's right.
Welcome, Dusky Steele from the House of Hope.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Now you got your chair all Lysoled and got your microphone there.
Okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
I know. They make it so nice for us, because otherwise we'd be sitting in the backyard sweating right now.
Yes, we would. Yes, that beautiful background that you see right now, we would be there with buckets of sweat pouring down.
Probably jump in the pond.
Yeah.
And do you
Sounds like
think you could read any comments for us? Are there any while Dusky's putting her microphone on? Yep, just any way you can
clip
get
it
it on
on.
there.
I guess the only comments I see are from Riddell Wells, who
Oh,
says,
Rudy.
hello, ladies and guests.
Hey, Rudy, how are you?
Yes, he's
All right.
thank you, Ed. He's always so nice to say happy birthday to everyone, too, all the time. Yes. So if you come to City Hall, as Dusky has, you have to wear your mask. We have our masks handy.
Yes, we do. That's
And
right.
we're social distancing, and we want to remind all of you to do the same and stay safe.
So welcome, 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 Dusky. She has been on our show before and is a wonderful representative of the House of Hope. And just talk to us about the great things that are going on right now with the House of Hope.
I love talking about the great things that we're doing at House of Hope. Maybe I should start with saying what we do, or should we get to that later?
Okay, no.
Yeah,
That's a
why
great
don't
place
you-
Because maybe
yeah,
people
why
don't know
don't
what
you-
House of Hope is.
Right. We've been sharing stories on our wall so they can scroll and see some of the wonderful success stories that we've shared. But tell us, you told us about a lady that just came today and gave you some things, but tell us what does House of Hope even do?
In a nutshell, House of Hope is transitional housing for single mother families who are in homelessness, and also for young women who age out of foster care. That's the short version of the story. But we have tons of new programs that we've added, and we are celebrating 25 years in the community this year. So that's super exciting.
Yes.
And
25 years. Where was the first one?
well, it started on Walnut Street in that brick 8-plex building where the grocery store is going.
Right.
Yeah. And it started off being like a kind of a peer support model of service, and it was 7 mothers with their kids, and there was a house mom who lived there. And as time moved on, the Teal building, the Teal house, the Victorian house on that same block,
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
6 Walnut Street.
Yes.
So we acquired that building, and I think it was 2001, and then expanded services to 10 families and
Wow.
moved to more of a trauma-informed care support model of service.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And like Chaveevah said, what's going on now? What for the 25th year? Are you doing anything virtual? Is there a celebration? Tell
Yes.
us.
Okay, so of course we wanted to have a big to-do to celebrate 25 years, but COVID had other plans. So
Right.
yeah, so we are doing 25 Stories of Hope, and it's a virtual celebration. So every Wednesday we are posting a story
That's what those are that I've been
Yes.
sharing.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And we're getting stories from people who helped start House of Hope, people who were in House of Hope in the very beginning, people who are in House of Hope now, people who are in our Pillars program. So we're getting just really awesome, positive stories from all across the board of people's involvement with House of Hope. So it's really, really exciting.
It is. And Chaveevah, we had a hee-haw good time
Yes,
at the
yes, that's all I can think about. The
A heyday for hope.
Heyday for Hope.
Heyday for Hope, and the mayor was there.
Yeehaw, that was super fun.
It was.
You were great MCs.
Oh, thank you.
It
Thank
was
you.
fun. It was fun wearing the cowboy hat. I couldn't get on the horse though.
Next time.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, actually, and that event ended up being more critical than ever because of recent
Oh,
events.
for
And so,
sure, yeah.
you know, that's our largest fundraiser of the year. So we were so fortunate to squeeze that in before everything got shut down, because
Right.
that's where a lot of our unrestricted funding comes from, so that we can do all these awesome programs that we're doing. So
Right. And speaking of fundraisers, we got to get this in there. Your House of Hope is going to be having a tug of war with the Habitat for Humanity
yes.
tomorrow.
Yep,
That's
tomorrow at
right.
noon.
At
Okay.
noon.
Yes.
And we'll be there live.
We have a stellar team lined up, so
Oh.
Habitat better get ready.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
boy.
with Royal Legacy, is that
Royal
right?
Legacy
Royal
Christian
Legacy
Academy.
Christian Academy is having a fundraiser, a virtual and actual, social distance fundraiser tomorrow from 10 to 2 at 620
It's at the old
620
Sacred
East
Heart
West
building.
4th Street, the old Sacred Heart.
Right,
Yes.
right. So, and if you can't be there in person, watch it virtually. And if you happen to be watching this now and it's already passed, you can always donate to Royal Legacy at rlcawaterloo.org. And also, let's give them your website too. We're talking House of Hope. We got to throw the Royal Legacy in there, but we're really talking House of Hope. So tell them your website.
Our website is houseofhopeccd.org. And we also have our Facebook page, which is HOHCV, as in Cedar Valley. And we post all the awesome things as they're happening, or if we have specific needs, we'll post on that too. But yeah, we just, what was it? It was whatever, this week, I don't know what day it is, but within the last few days, we got to go check out one of our moms who graduated the program. She just got her new place, and she invited us over to check it out, and it was just so moving and amazing to see how happy she and her family are, and her place looks all decorated, and she's so proud of it, and it just was such a great reminder. My daughter actually got to come too, and just a reminder of this is why we do this, and it works.
Right, right.
And what can the community do as far as, I'm sure you all are always in need of contributions, volunteerism, stuff like that?
Yes, all of that. Even though our building is closed to the public right now for obvious reasons, but we do still need volunteers for certain jobs, like when a family moves out, a volunteer group can come in and clean the apartment and decorate it and get it all homey and ready for the new family to come in. And we aren't putting groups together ourselves on that, so groups that are already formed can come and do that, just to be safe. And we are accepting donations, but just by appointment only, to try to limit the number of people who are there at a time. And we can always use monetary support. Our programs are completely funded by the community. So we don't have any government funding on any level. All of our money comes from right here in the Cedar Valley.
What kind of things do you look for donations?
In-season women and children's clothing and practical household items. So if you think about what you would need if you were first moving into a place, that's what our families usually will need.
Makes sense. Makes good sense.
Yeah, and we stock the apartments with everything when the moms first move in, and then they take it all with them when they successfully complete the program. So then we restock for the next family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What an asset to the community.
Yes.
That's right. So if you know anybody that could use some help getting started, or is just starting out for the first time for whatever reason, they can get a hold to House of Hope.
Yes, and we also, like I said, we've added a couple programs. So now we actually have outreach services. So our wait list has consistently been long, and we've always had one. So, and for years we've wanted to provide services for the women who are on the wait list.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
While they're waiting.
Yeah, they're in crisis and they're waiting,
Oh
and they
my
don't have
gosh.
services or resources, and so we were able to start outreach at the end of last year, and so we have an outreach case manager, and she works specifically with the women who are on the wait list and provides services and guidance for them. And we've actually had a couple of families drop off the waiting list because they've become stable and they don't need to be at
Oh,
House
how
of Hope.
nice is that?
Yes, and that's our goal, you know.
Well, great. Well, I'm so glad that you're here to tell us all about it, because, like, in her face, look at her. She's so cheery. It's like,
that's
I
right.
love talking about House of Hope.
I know. You could, you're really a great spokesperson, and you're in the right job. Like Jessica Rucker yesterday. I mean, you're just meant to do what you do, and it makes a lot of
And
sense.
it shows.
Well,
it shows.
I have a front row seat to watching women transform their lives with guidance and help and resources, and we're seeing that it works, and it's amazing. And
Yes.
I mean, it's such an asset to the community. It really is.
Well, good.
All right,
We're glad to
25
have
years
you.
and counting.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
And Agnes has great graphics up there. We're just going to mention the census. We know we're tired of hearing about it.
Oh, that's right. We have to mention the census
Yes.
because
Oh, there she is. with the graphic
representation
ready.
counts.
Yes.
It absolutely does. It won't, go online and take do the questionnaire. It won't take very much of your time, but it'll provide a lot of information that will help see where resources are going to be allocated. So.
Right.
Yes.
The census looks at numbers, age groups, ethnicities, etc. So there's an accurate picture of what the population looks like. Why is it important? For representation in education, healthcare, housing, infrastructure needs, and etc. And
All
it's
of
not
that
too late to do the questionnaire at www.census.gov.
Have you done it yet, Rocki?
Yeah, now
Okay.
kind of. It's on my desk. Okay, I'm gonna do it.
I did it.
You
I
did
did too.
it?
Yep, I did it.
I did too. I had the one that comes to your house, and I started to do it, and I thought, I'll go online. Quick.
It's super
Well,
quick.
see, that's what I'll do then. I'm gonna do it because Agnes is wanting me to. I'm sure. And just because you asked, but when Agnes, lets me know she's interested, then maybe.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're going to just give it air real quick, but not really too deep. But guess what? What's the Ortiz lady's name, the congresswoman?
Oh,
Check
AOC,
out that story.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yes. And if she did not get up there, my thing, I'm just going to say quickly, that my thing about being a woman myself, I'm an emotional person. If I get choked up and somebody called me what they called her, I'm sorry. I just don't feel that I would be able to get up there and talk the way she did with such grace and eloquence. So I just want anybody to watch that. And if she doesn't really say what needed to be said, then they don't call me Rocki.
There you go. I appreciate that she kind of held his feet to the fire, because there are standards that you're supposed to keep, and you're supposed to be public servants or whatever, and some things are just plain inappropriate if you're just in a bar or on the corner. So that's
Of course,
ugly.
so
That's
then
ugly.
right, exactly. And what she ended up saying that really resonated was the fact that he said that gives every man the right to say those things to his daughter and his wife. So when you look at it that way, then you really have to understand that, as women, we've taken a lot of stuff, but the buck stops here. So why don't we go ahead and change that?
Yeah,
let's do it.
The whole system. So, yes, I love it. That's our Give It Air today. I want to shout out to our wonderful crew like we always do.
Yes, we absolutely have to shout out the magnificent one and only Ed, who sat with us for a little bit before
he was
the show
chatting up a
started,
storm. We
and
need him.
also Agnes,
Yes.
and can't forget about Zion, who went the whole route with us up until this point. He's going to be leaving pretty soon, like in the fall.
We'll have
and
to
going
have
the
him as a
military.
guest.
Yeah,
Talk
that'd
about
be
his
great.
plans. Yes. Okay, Dusky, now you know we already had asked you every time if you subscribe to the Soul Town.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I need to do that.
All right. So that's a great reminder. This is not
Yes.
the most recent issue. However, every issue that comes out is just fantastic. It's full of wonderful information about things that are going on here, things that are going on worldwide, because that's the connection at this point.
Yes.
The Soul Town is a virtual community, so it's worldwide.
Right. Kind of like us, Chaveevah.
Hey.
What was the lyric out in them song? All around the world?
Yeah, going all around the world, yes.
Okay. All right, birthday people, you've waited long enough. Dusky still has the best alto voice. And you sing soprano or alto? Or?
I just sing.
Okay.
Okay.
If you can't sing good, you got to sing loud.
Sing
right?
loud.
Okay,
That's
I'm gonna
right.
Okay, 'cause
blast it.
this-
I didn't know I was gonna be singing today.
Well, get it together now, because
Okay,
you're
okay.
going to sing. We're going to make you, we're going to do a solo here for you.
What? No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, we got some birthday people. We're going to actually let you read this.
Okay.
The first row.
Crystal Tolles,
Yes.
Audrey Austin,
Yes.
Elizabeth Phillips, Precious Muhammad.
Yay,
Did I say it?
Precious.
Muhammad.
you're right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Muhammad.
Jamesia.
Jamesia Young, Tony Thompson, Carolyn Banks,
That's my sister.
Yay, Carolyn.
Jovita Long.
Yes.
I love her.
I know.
She
she's
is
the
such a
best.
beautiful soul. Randy Barber, Maris Jenkins,
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Clinton Woods,
That's my nephew.
Okay.
Chiquita Lovelace,
Yes.
Jay Jordan, Veronica McGee Funches,
Hey,
and,
Miss Veronica.
and Tony Brown.
Tony Brown, yes.
Yes. Those are some awesome birthday people. All
Yes,
of them. I think
indeed.
I know just about every one of them.
All right, and we wish
So-
you all a great, great birthday. Enjoy
Happy
it
birthday. I love a birthday.
in the best way that you can. And we're getting ready to sing that song, right?
Because it's a very special day if it's your birthday. So listen, we're going to sing a song. Why don't you take it away?
Are we singing Happy Birthday? This is the song we're talking about.
No, not that song.
What's the song?
No.
Yes.
We're singing the Happy Birthday Stevie Wonder version.
Okay,
You know, like we
need to
always
start.
do.
It's easy to catch on.
Okay,
Right.
I'll follow your lead.
Okay, it goes something like this.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday
Can't
to
hear you.
ya.
Uh,
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. All right.
I apologize to the birthday people.
She's apologizing. You have no need to apologize.
No, not indeed. You've got the enthusiasm.
Yes, it was beautiful.
Yes.
It was beautiful. So tell us the date for your so that every Tuesday.
It's every Wednesday
Every
we post.
Wednesday.
Yep, and it'll be for 25 weeks. Yes, so it'll go through the second week of November, I believe it's. what we
Wow,
decide.
okay.
Yes, and they're all great stories. So,
Okay.
and usually it'll be a video, and the videos are like a minute or a minute and a half.
I love that. So
Yeah.
make sure to tag us.
Okay,
Because I don't have to go looking for it. I have enough to do.
okay, I got you.
Okay, all
I will
right.
tag all of you.
All
All right.
Fantastic.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, another show is a wrap.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Every week we get the best guests and we find out so much about our community.
Yeah, I love this job.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
And you have wine?
We
Oh,
have
I forgot my wine's
You
way over
had,
there.
oh, you left your. Go
Yeah.
get it because we got to say a toast.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well,
Ed will give it to you. Thank you, Ed. We're going
Thanks,
to toast
Ed.
to all of our friends and our viewers, and we're going to encourage them. Oh, thank you, Ed.
I would have sang
right.
better if I had more wine.
Oh, no.
All right.
Isn't that the way that works? Okay, we're going to encourage you, viewers, to keep doing more like Dusky of what makes you awesome because
Because it makes us all look good.
See you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.